Hello there and welcome to another video from Change Tips and Tools. And again, we're going to get straight into this. This is step 2 of this date checker working with dates series. So let's get straight into it. So this is where we should have finished on step 1. And you can find a copy of this file at this stage within the description if you want to use that file instead of your own. So let's do this. So we are going to create the interactive calendars that act as visuals. So the dynamic calendars that act as visuals in this date checker. So I'm going to create a new sheet here. I'm going to do the plus and I'm going to rename this sheet to be date checker support and hit return. So there's a few things that I'm going to want on here. So I'm going to need for the current month or selected month. I'm going to need the selected month. I want the previous month because we want 3 calendars to appear. We want the calendar for the selected month or the current month. We then want the calendar for the previous month, and we want the calendar for the following month after the selected month. So I'm going to do previous month, and we want the next month or the following month, like so. Let's expand those. So what I'm going to need there is the year. And I'm going to need the month as well for each of those for this to work. So what I'm going to need then is as far as each of those to work out the first day of the month. So I need to calculate the first day of the month for my calendars to work. Again, I'm going to make that a little bit wider so we can see it all. So I'm going to need, for the selected month, I'm going to need the weekday, what the weekday number is, what the previous month weekday number is, and also what the next month is. So I'm just going to put weekday. So this sheet will actually be hidden, so your users won't actually see this. I'm going to select those 3 cells there, do Control 1, and I'm just going to align that, alignment, and align, so center across selection on the horizontal, and click OK. And there we go. So that's my first day. So the thing that I need to drive that is whatever the user has selected. So date selected on the date checker sheet. So at the moment, I'm just going to put today's date in. So I'm just going to hold the control key, hit the semicolon, and there's a shortcut to just get today's date from the system. So that's the date that I want. I'm then going to need, based on that, again on the date checker, if we look over here, so they would have selected this date, and then there'll be a button over here to say view calendars. And then based on these calculations, it's going to work out some things as far as the adjustment's concerned. So I'm going to need the adjustment type, the adjustment date based on the days as well, with all these things considered. So here I'm going to enter the adjustment. So these are both going to be dates. So again, just make sure they're both short dates. I then want the days, which is going to equal the value. And then later on, when we work on the full activity video, that includes a calendar with all the activities detailed within that calendar, we're going to need an activity input into that calendar. So I'm just going to put that as a placeholder there. Right. So first of all, let's get these all calculated. So this one here, we're going to use the year function. So I'm going to go equals year, and I want the year from the date selected here. So that's B7, like so. Yeah. And I'm going to close that bracket. Same with the month. Again, I'm going to use the month function. And again, I'm going to select that serial number. And that gives me the month function. Yeah. Now, with that done, I need to then work out the previous month. And some things we need to work out here. So first of all, we need to make sure that if this equals 1, then obviously we're going to go to the previous year, because the previous month will be December 2023 in this instance. So we need it to be intelligent. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to do equals, I'm going to do if B3 here, I'm going to do F4 to make it absolute, because I'm going to copy it across to the next column, equals 1, then it's going to be B2, and again I'm going to press F4 to make it absolute, minus 1. Otherwise, if it doesn't equal 1, then we simply just return the same year here and do F4 again and hit close that bracket and hit return. So if I did sort of the 10th of January here, 24, it's then going to work out that it should be 2023. Yeah. And again, in the same instance, as far as, and let's do the next month here. So let's just copy that across, so just drag it across. This time, all I'm going to do is say, right, if it equals 12, then you just plus 1. Because obviously the next month is going to be, so it's December, it's going to be January in 2025. So I'm just going to do plus, and if it's not, then you just leave it as is. Okay, so again, if I make that 10/12/4, there you go. So that works fine. Okay. Now, on this one here, so let's go back to what we're going to do here is that if B3 does not equal 1, yeah, so now we're checking for, so if it's January and we're doing the previous month, yeah, then and if it doesn't equal 1, then we can do B3 minus 1, so 12 will become 11. But if it's 1, we don't want to do minus 1, we need to set it to 12 because it's going to be December, if that makes sense. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to go if this B3, oh, just help if you do an equal sign first, if equals B3, I'm going to do F4 because I want to copy it across, does not equal, so that's 2 chevrons pointing opposite ways, does not equal 1, then we do B3, F4 again because I want to move it across, minus 1. Otherwise, we set it to 12, yeah? And close that bracket. Okay? And there we go. Now, in the same instance, if I copy that across, and we want to say now where it doesn't equal 12, we've got the same challenge here, is that if it doesn't equal 12, then we can plus 1. However, if it equals 12, then we just set it to 1, i.e. January. And if I hit return, and there you go. So those now all work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do Control and semicolon to set it back to today's date and hit return. So that now all calculates what's based on what's in here. Now, what we're going to do is we need to get the weekday of the first of the month. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to do, so weekday. So let's talk about weekdays. If I just do that on, let's move that out of the way here and do select this date here. So I've selected the serial number. I've then got a return type. And what you can see here is that you've got, return type 1 means that it numbers the days from a Sunday to a Saturday. So Sunday being 1 and to Saturday being 7. So Sunday, Monday to Saturday being 7. You then got 2, which is what we are going to use, is Monday is 1 through to Sunday, which is 7. So if I do 2 there and hit return, so that's basically saying that that date there is the Monday. It's a number 1. So we want to work out what the day number is of the first day of the month. And the reason being is when you've got your calendar going from Monday to Sunday, you need to be able to work out, well, where does the numbering start for that current month? Yeah, and it'll become clear in a minute when we start building the calendar itself. So the way that we're going to do, so I'm going to do equals weekday. I'm going to use the date function here. So for the selected month, it's easy. So the year is going to be that value there, comma. The month is going to be that value there, and the day is going to be 1, the first of that month. I'm then going to close the bracket on the date function, and I'm going to do comma, do 2 to select the Monday to Sunday, Monday being 1, and I'm going to close that bracket on the weekday and hit return. And then if I then copy that across for the previous month, in fact, I want you to be there. Yeah, let's put that there, and let's copy that across like so. Boom. So that's obviously a Saturday, and that's going to be what? Thursday. Yeah. So now we've got the weekday number like so. So as far as the adjustments concerned, we'll get to that in a minute, because we're going to use the ifs function to work that out. So let's take the days adjustments. That's going to be easy. I'm going to do equals, and then select the date checker sheet, and then we're going to select this cell here. That's going to be the value for our adjustment. Yeah. And then as far as the activity, we're going to leave that blank for now, and we'll take care of that in a later video. Next, let's do the adjustment, and I'm going to expand the formula bar, and I'm going to start typing directly into the formula bar, because this is quite a complex formula, and I want to break it down so you can see what I'm doing. And each new line will represent a new set of criteria, because we are going to use the ifs function here, and I'm going to do alt return. So the first thing I want to check is that there's an actual, this is not blank, the days is not blank, and the way that I'm going to do that is do ISNUMBER. So if it's a number, it will return true. So select this cell here, and if it's not blank, it'll return false. So if it equals false, I'm just going to put a date in here as well. So date function, and I'm going to put the first date of the Excel calendar, which is going to be 1900, comma 1, comma 1, and just put that date in there, and then I'm going to do comma. So my next test here, I'm going to do alt return, is that I also want to check if it's a 0, because if there's a 0 in there, that it means there's no adjustment. So again, if B9 equals 0, yeah, then again I'm going to do the date function and return the first of the first 1900. So that's 1900, comma, the month, then the day, and then close that bracket. Right, and then I'm going to do alt return. So the next logical test, this is where we look at the combinations of, have they done include, exclude, as far as the options, have they done plus or minus? And that's what we need to account for now. So I'm going to use the AND function, where all criteria, all checks have to be true before it does that output, before it returns, it outputs a true. So I'm going to do and. So the first thing is B9 does not equal 0. That's the first check. The next check is we want to test on the date checker what option have they chosen here. So let's go with include. So I'm going to select that cell. And the logical test, does it equal, in quotation marks because it's text, include, like so. And then the next check of the AND function is on the adjustment type. And again, does it equal include? Sorry, does it include plus, should I say, for this test? So I've got 3 checks there. I'm going to close that bracket. Now, if that outputs true as a logical test, then what I'm going to do, so include and plus, is I'm going to say it equals output the calculation of the date selected plus this value here minus 1, because we want to include the selected date in this. So I'm going to do 1 and then close that bracket, and then I'm going to do a comma, and then I've got my logical test 4. So I'm going to do alt return. So again, I'm going to use the AND function. So the next thing is, again, I'm going to check, does B9, it doesn't equal 0. That's my first check. Then the next check is the exclude option. So I'm going to go to my date checker and say, does this cell here equal exclude? Put that in quotation marks because it's text. And this time I want to look at, does this equal plus again? So I'm going to go plus in quotation marks and then close the bracket on the AND function. Now this time, if that's an exclude, then it is simply that date plus the adjustment. There's no alteration in there. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that in brackets as well, just to keep it consistent with the above, and I'm going to do a comma. So now I want to look at the next I'm going to do alt return. So we've done include exclude with the plus selected. So let's do the include exclude with the minus selected. So I'm going to do and. So it does B9 again, does not equal 0. That's the first check. Back to my date checker. So now I want to look at, does this equal include? So I want to include the selected date in the calculation. And then as far as the adjustment type, I'm now checking for minus. So does that equal minus? And I'm going to close the bracket on the AND function. If all those are true, then we do the following calculation. So this time it's going to be the date. Yeah, so it's going to be the date. And this time I want to minus, and then the adjustment, again, because I'm including, is going to be minus 1 again. And then I'm going to do comma. And then the final check, if I do alt return and do and I'm going to do if B9 does not equal 0. Again, back to the date checker. So this is where this equals exclude in quotation marks, comma, and this here, as far as the adjustment type, equals minus. Close the bracket on the AND function, do comma, and then with that, then all I'm going to do is do date checker support, going to equal that as far as the calculation minus, open the bracket, this value here. And then close the bracket on that. Yeah. I'm then going to do Alt Return, and I'm going to close the bracket on the ifs as well, and hit Return. And there we go. So at the moment, because that is 0, so let's put 3 there. Yeah. Let's look at what it does. So now what it's done is, because we've got include and plus, so we're including the date. Yeah. So 3 days. So if you take the 22nd, day 1, yeah, you then take the 23rd as day 2 and 24 as day 3, gives you the 24th of July, 3 days. If we change this to be exclude, yeah, then you get a different date, because now it'll start counting after the 22nd. So the 23rd is day 1, yeah, the 24th is day 2, and 25 is day 3. And again, if we then switch this to a minus, it then calculates accordingly. Yeah. So now we've got that. So let me just put this back to it's included, and let's do a plus there as well, just so we've got that there as a calculation. So now we've worked that out, we're now ready to start building our calendar, because we've got all the data we need now to build our dynamic calendars. So let's start at, shrink that down, don't need that to be as high now. So let's, first thing is, the easy thing is going to be, I want MON, and then I'm just going to drag that across to Sunday, like so. Wonderful. So now we've got the days of the week, we need to get our calendar, and we need to use this data we've got here to drive this calendar here. So this is for the selected month, or the current month. So if I do equals date, so we want this value here, comma the month, comma the first of that month, that then gives us the 1st of July. I then want to drive a sequence off that for 6 rows and 7 columns. So I'm going to do plus sequence, and it's going to be 6 rows and 7 columns. All right. And then I hit return. Let's just turn these all into dates. So short dates, so we can see what we're working with. And then I need to bring in, so we're always working from the first day of, we've got the first of the month there. So I'm just going to, so first of all, let's take these and make them absolute. I'm going to do F4. And then I'm going to do here minus the weekday to get the first day of the month. And I'm going to make that F4, and I'm going to hit return. Wonderful. Now let's change this to be 01/08/24. See what happens. Now what you can see here is that the 1st of August is actually a Thursday. So we don't want anything in here where it's not related to August in this instance, yeah? And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to use an if statement. So we'll do, let me just copy this formula here, and copy that. So I have to retype it. So I'm going to do if the month of this, yeah, if that equals B3, I'm going to do F4. If it equals B3, then return it. If not, make it blank. If I close that bracket now, look what happens. Bosh. So we've now only got August in here, and if I then change this to today's date, and there you go, the calendar adjusts itself appropriately. Wonderful. So and again, if I just put that to the 1st of August, there you go. So it's now dynamic. The calendar is now dynamic from that. So we've now got it doing our dates. So the next thing I want it to do is, I don't want the full date, I just want it as a number. So I'm just going to select this area. I'm going to do Control 1. And on the number, I'm just going to do custom. And I'm just going to get rid of that. So we've just got day there, yeah? And hit OK. So now we've got just the calendar there, yeah? Wonderful. So let's just do some formatting on this. So I am going to make these columns here. I'm going to right click and make the width. I'm going to make them 9.67, like that. I'm going to center them like so. As far as the row height for this one here, let's make these slightly, right click on those, because I'm going to put a title there as well. So right click on that, row height, and let's make that, let's say 37.2. Okay. No, that's not right. I don't want it like that. Let's undo that one. I think I'm going to make these there. Row height, let's look at that. 37.2. In fact, that one can just go back to normal. Okay, that works for me. Then as far as the font, let's just make these two here. In fact, let's change this to be, let's go green. And let's make it 20. And let's make that bold as well. Let's make this one here. Okay. And let's just take all of these. Let's make these fonts, let's make those 14. And I'm just going to put them in the middle like so. Okay, that works. And then let's just take these, and as far as this is concerned, I'm going to do a fill, which is more like a, let's go with that one there, a light blue. And then let's take all of those and let's put more borders. Let's take that one there and let's make that a green. And let's do pop, pop, and do OK. Okay. I like that as a format. Up here, I want to have a dynamic title for this being the selected month. So here I'm going to use the text function and use the ampersand just to create a string here using this data up here. So first of all, I want to make it clear that this is the selected month. So in quotation marks, I'm going to do selected month. I'm going to do a space and a hyphen or a dash and a space again, and then close the quotation marks. So then I want, so I'm going to do ampersand. So I want the text. So I want the date first of all. So I want the month. So I'm going to do text, open bracket. So it's going to be date. So my year is going to be this value here. Yeah, and I'm just going to do F4 to make it absolute. I then want obviously the month, which is going to be this here, and do F4 again. And then I'm just going to do 1, the first of the month, and I'm going to close that bracket to get that date, and then either date value, and then I'm just going to return in long form the month. So I'm going to do quotation mark, and then I'm going to do 4 M's. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to hit the quotation marks there, and then close the bracket on the text. Let's just hit return on that, see what that gives me. Let's just do that, and merge and center, and let's just make that 20 as well. Make it bold, and let's make this let's make it that blue there, like so. So we've got selected month August, so let's just then add the year to this. So again, I'm going to do the ampersand here. I'm going to do quotation mark. I want a space, and then close that quotation mark. Yeah. And then this time I'm going to do ampersand, and then I just need to return the value that's in this cell here. I'm going to hit that, do F4, and I'm going to hit return. So now I've got selected month August 24, but I also want to show it in number format as well, in brackets. So again, let's add that string in there. So again, on the end, and this time I'm going to do the ampersand again, and then I'm going to do quotation mark, a space, I want an open bracket, and then I'm going to close that quotation mark, and I'm going to do the ampersand, and now I want to add the month number here. So I'm going to choose B3 and do function 4 again. I'm then going to do the ampersand, quotation mark, I want a space, I'm then going to put a slash. In fact, no, I don't want the space. Let's just do a slash, forward slash, and then close that quotation mark and do the ampersand again. Yeah. And then I want to return the year here. F4 to make it absolute. Again, ampersand, because I want to add the bracket on the end then. So I'm going to do quotation mark, the close bracket, and then quotation mark, then hit return. Let's see what that does for us. And there you go. Selected month, August 24, 8/2024. I think that works fine. In fact, I do want a space in there, so I'm just going to do space, space, and hit return. How does that look? Yeah, that's better. Yep, that works. Right. Again, don't want a bit more space there. So add another one more space in there. One more check. Okay, that looks a bit better. Right, there you go. So that works. So we've now got the calendar. But now what we want to be able to say, right, based on this calendar, what is today's date? What is the selected date, and what's the adjustment date based on these things here? And this is where we're going to use conditional formatting. So I'm going to select this here, and the first in this argument is E13. So remember that. So let's do conditional formatting, new rule. I'm going to use a formula, and this time I'm going to do so equals if. So it's going to be E13. So let's do open bracket, E13. If it equals today's date, then I want it to return and format the cells accordingly. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the today function, open and close those brackets. If E13 equals today, then it's true and I want it to do something. Otherwise, false, do nothing. and then close that bracket. So as far as today's date is concerned, or the current date, I'm going to do format. As far as the font, I'm going to make it bold and I'm going to make it white. As far as the border is concerned, I'm going to choose a yellow there and that line there, and just do the outline. Click. And as far as the fill, I'm going to make it this green here. Yeah, and click OK. And then if I click OK again, we've got it. Now let's just double check that. Let me just do Control semicolon to bring up today's date. And there you go. So it's now picking up today's date dynamically. So again, let's just select all this. We now want to know, well, what's the selected date? So let's make this the 1st of July, like so. Because then if I do the selected date format, we should get this date should also be highlighted. So again, if I select all of these and I do conditional formatting, new rule, use a formula, this time equals if E13 equals the selected date, then true, comma, false. So as far as if it equals selected date, the format, we're going to use this blue here, border, let's choose this dark blue here, outline it, and then as far as the fonts, let's make it bold, and let's make it white, like so, and click OK. And then if I click OK again, there we go. And finally, we want the adjustment date, which is this date here. So again, I'm going to do conditional formatting with all that selected still, new rule, use a formula, and I'm going to do equals if E13 equals the adjustment date here. And you'll notice it's got the absolute values, and I do want to keep that because I want to copy this to our calendars as far as for the previous month and the next month. So I'm just going to do comma, true, comma, false. So do something or not do something depending on, is that true? I'm going to do format, and this time I am going to make it bold. I'll make it a dark as far as the border is concerned. I use the dark blue again to the outline, but the fill I'm going to use this light blue here, like so, and I'm going to do OK, and then I'm going to click OK again, and there you go. So we can now see what the current date is, what the selected date is, and what the adjustment date is. Perfect. So that now works, and that's our template. So I now want to use that, and I want to copy it for previous and next month. And the way that we're going to do that is I'm just going to select all this here and do Control copy, and then I'm just going to paste it here and do Control V, and I've got exactly the same thing here. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to change this header. So I don't want selected month, so I'm going to get rid of that first of all, because this is going to be the previous month. I'm just going to change this. So if I just hit return there, and you see here we've got everything referring to B, yeah. So if I just take this and I take that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select more than one cell, not just that cell. I'm going to do Control find, and I want to find the $sign and B, yeah. And I want to replace it with $sign and C for the previous column. I'll do C. I hit return. hit replace all. This now says June. So let's just change the colour of that. So let's make that previous month. Let's make it that green as the previous month. Yep. And as far as this is concerned, again, I'm just going to select 2 cells here and do Control Find and replace. I want to do the same thing, replace all. Boom, and do close. So 1st of June starts on a Saturday, and there you go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, I'm going to do Control Copy, and I'm going to do Control V. And I'm going to do the same thing here now. So I'm going to replace C with D. So let's just take that. And the reason why I'm selecting more than one cell is when you're doing a find and replace, if you just select a single cell, it'll look at the whole sheet, and we don't want it to do that. But if I select the cell where I want to make the change, and then another blank cell here, and then do Control F, Control and Find, is I'm now going to replace C, $C, and I'm going to replace it with D. And do replace all, click OK, close. That's now gone to all, so this is the next month. And again, I'm going to make that a darker green. I'm going to do the same here for the series, so I only need to change that first part here. So again, Control Find, select the replace all, OK, and do close. So we've now got our dynamic calendars. They all now calculate based on what's been done here. So if I do the 1st of August as the selected month, these all change. But you'll notice based on that and these calculations, this is all dynamic. So you've got the selected month and the adjusted. You've then got the previous month here where you've got the current date being highlighted and so on. And this is all adjusted accordingly. Okay, that's where I'm going to end this video, which is step 2 in this series. So we've now created our dynamic calendars. We're now ready to move to the next step. So in the next step, we will produce this capability where we'll create this button, and then based on what's selected over here is when we do view calendars, it then pulls through those visuals that we've created into the date checker. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. I hope you found that useful and informative, and if so, please click that like, subscribe and smash that notifications button, as it really helps the channel. And as always, I wish you a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Please take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video from Change Tips and Tools. Bye bye now.